We got us one. It was a close one. Woo. Had me feeling like LP was back coaching.
Hey, it was close. It was a win, but it just didn't. It was too close of a win. We put it like that.
I'll give you that. But since it was too close to the win and Ace just got here, where he at?
Yo, welcome to the show. I am your host. I walk around like number 11. I know I'm the GOAT. My chains, my rings on Matt Ryan, they coated in cold. I already killed the beat before I sat up and spoke. I'm here to close out the game. You sweep the dugout at best. I'm the realest. If real hopped off the page and showed in the flesh. No team jersey, but my city still on my chest. Trade from the 3. If I shoot, then it's all net. No time for you to rewind. You just in time. I'm a king. This king drum, so you know I'm in shine. I've been dope since 4 years after 1989. My pen work be out of this work, no pop flies. Not here to kill the game, just a competition. I'm Freddie Freeman on first, whoever pitching, I'm still getting it. I let the scoreboard tell us what the difference is. This is history in the making, you are witnessing. Shout out to the kid, you are tuned into the greatest. Rise up, kings won't watch a king in the making. I love it.
Welcome to King's Realm. I'm here with my host, Tyrone. How you doing today, Tyrone?
Hey, good. It's been a good day. Nothing to complain about. It was a little rainy, a little cold, but we got through it. Woke up this morning.
Yeah, that is true. We woke up this morning. Everything's good. So if you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Like and subscribe to the channel. Go tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and make sure they go tell a friend to come check out the best Atlanta Hawks post game on the map. And we don't just talk about the Atlanta Hawks, we talk about other teams also. So don't be shy to ask questions in the comments about your team. We'll let you know. We give it to you real on this show. No, all facts, brother, all facts. Shout out to Atlanta Nation for joining the podcast. Soldier Gutter. I like it. Soldier Gutter. Shout out to you. If you're new to the channel, make sure you go watch us on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube, please. We love that you're watching us on Facebook, but if you could, please go watch us on YouTube. Ultra Shadows in the building. Heart scared. Yeah. One of those nights. It was one of those nights, Shadow. It was one of those nights. Do I smell 6 in a row? Yes, you smell it.
God.
Do you smell what the Hawks are cooking? Shout out to Big Nate, as T like to call him.
Big Nate. Hey,
how'd you feel about it?
I'm really it stressed me out towards the third quarter. Stressed me completely out. I'm like, bro, where's our starters at? Like I'm like screaming at the TV, like put the starters in. And we got to a certain point where it calmed down. I kind of sort of missed. I had to take my dog out, so I missed like a couple of minutes before. But I came back, we was up, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, there we go, we good. I was like, and then I was talking about Tony Snell. I just want to highlight 2 players tonight. These are they both get my stars tonight. Well, 3 because Trey always gets one. But these 2 players get my star of the game. Danilo Gallinari and John Collins. Danilo had 29 tonight. He was our leading scorer. And John Collins did another 20 and 10 night. Like I said, we need him to do. Did another 20 and 10 night. John got into foul trouble, of course. That's why he got taken out. But when he got back in that game, you saw the impact that he had on the game. Because he came back in and we started dominating again. We started getting more boards. It just looked like we was able to crash the glass harder. I love Nathan Knight, of course. I just didn't feel his presence in the paint as I did last night. It wasn't as big as it was tonight. Last night as it was tonight. But I really wanted to shout out Gallo and John. Those 2 were top tier, and Trey with 14 assists. Yeah, that's just this is the Trey. I remember when Slink came out in the beginning of the year, he said we want Trey to be more of a facilitator. He said we don't need him to score that many points if he can facilitate. This is the game where he showed I don't need to score. I can give you the ball and let my teammates score. And I loved it. It looked good. It looked basketball. It looked like basketball. That one possession we had, the ball did not touch the ground. Everybody passed, and we got a wide open 3. That's all we need.
This game for me, I was watching it, and the first and second quarter, you like, all right, the Hawks about to blow them out. And then there's something about those third quarter with the Hawks. It's just the third quarter. Under LP, no disrespect, man. I know we throwing a lot of shade at LP, but we would have lost this game under LP. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
We would have lost this game under LP. But the fourth quarter Hawks, the fourth quarter Hawks are something special, man. If the game is close, I'm betting my money on the Hawks, depending on the team. But this also goes back to teams that we should beat. Yeah. This is one of those teams that we should beat. I don't know what went on in the halftime. Maybe they got a little too hyped and they kind of just came out lackadaisical. But it got to a point where we was a little nervous. Well, I was. I ain't gonna speak for every Hawks fan, but I was a little nervous, and I'm watching like, if we blow a lead and lose to the Rockets, man, it's not gonna be a good day. 6 straight wins and 8-1 under Nate. Yes, Shadow. We out here balling. I hope we get to 10 so I can buy this lucky fan his shirt or hat, man. I hope we get to 10, man. Why the Hawks and the Falcons do better coming off firing? So that's so disrespectful, brother. That's a good question, though. Good question.
That has happened. I mean, look at the Falcons. We won the Super Bowl. It was 2 years after Mike Smith got fired. So,
hey, coaching matters.
I don't know. It just happens. It's Atlanta.
Yeah, it's pretty much wasn't pretty at all. But all that matters at the end of the day is the check in the win column. You right, Gatorade, dude. The check in the win column is all that matters. This Hawks team. Shout out to Gallinari because I gave him a shout out on Twitter earlier. Like, who was guarding this man? This man in the first half had 20. He was just doing whatever he wanted to. He kind of cooled off in the second half. But it was one of those games that it was a lot of team ball, and I'm happy. The fact that Trae Young only had 13 points and we still won the game, that is such a good thing for the Hawks. That means he wasn't out there overdoing anything, trying to force anything. He was actually being a true point guard. So that's always good for your point guard to be a point guard and win games that way. Mr. 20 and 10. Oh, you're talking about JC. Gotta be talking about JC.
We're not getting rid of – I will tell anybody, I don't care if you're not a Hawk fan in here, we're not getting rid of JC. I don't see it happening for years to come. And JC has none but growth to do at this point. He's not even in prime physical because he's not big yet. He's still smaller. I mean, he's gotten bigger as time going on, but I feel like he has another little muscle he can get. He can a little bit more muscle. And him in the paint this year looks like he's learned that turnaround jumper, and it looks so smooth. You just think it's going in every time he does it. Every time I see JC hit a turnaround, I'm like, it's probably gonna go in because and tonight was the perfect night. When you see that mismatch, they kept switching. I don't know who was running their defense, but they kept switching. And every time they switched, JC had that turnaround just ready to go. It was just he was going to put you in the post and he was going to spin off and put it up. And that's what I need out of my power forward. I don't need him to. I'm not really keen to him shooting threes. I like that he's shooting threes, but if it's not his night, put him in that post and let him work. That's all I need him to do at that point. If he shoot a three and make it, I'm hyped. But let him work in that post.
Exactly. He was abusing the Houston Rockets got a small lineup to start with. So everybody was getting their fair share with Gallinari shooting over people, and then JC just working the post. And like guy in the booth said, Dominique said, keep giving him the ball if it's working. Why go away from something that's working? If it's working, don't try to not fix it. I mean, stop going to it. Y'all know what I mean. I mess up. We all mess up. Shout out to M. If you new, like and subscribe. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're going to get to all y'all comments. We're going to make sure we touch everybody. So don't leave. We're going to get to your comments. Shout out to Nick M. Shot that how Gallo is turning around. The reason he's turning around is, in my opinion, is because he's finally getting his groove.
He's healthy.
His groove, yes. Yeah. He's getting his groove back, and he's looking like who we thought he was going to be at the beginning of the year. So with that being said, if this team can play like this, boy,
this 8-game road trip is I'm slow. I was so stressed about this 8-game road trip, and I'm slowly loosening up. Like it's slowly like we got some chances
Yeah.
So we getting Dre back Thursday. So that remember I said the Clippers and the Lakers. I said I'm a little bit scared because we're not gonna have Dre. Now we're getting them back. We might not. Cam has 2 or 3 more weeks, and Dunn has a week or 2. I'm fine. We're getting back healthy. We're getting back to where we need to be.
Exactly. And at this point, we got 20 wins along with the Knicks, the Celtics, the Hornets, all got 20 wins. We can easily jump to that 4th spot, y'all. We just gotta keep it rolling, man. What Nate McMillan is doing is special, man. He has showed everybody that coaching matters. It matters, man. You can have the best player on the team, unless his name is LeBron James. That's when coaching don't matter, because LeBron James is just that good. He don't need a good coach. But coaching matters, and that's what we preach on this show. Coaching, player development, and making teams better, making players better. What's good, B Baller? What's good, boys? A win is a win. I can get used to this feeling on the road. This is solid. Yes, B Baller. This is a great win on the road, and it only goes up from here, man. I said earlier, this team is doing things that I didn't think, even with my 4th at the beginning of the season saying there'll be 4. Even with that, I didn't think they would win 6 in a row at any point. At any point,
I didn't have that expectation at all. I think I knew we were going to go on some runs, like maybe 2 or 3 back to back, but to go on this 6-game winning streak after firing a coach and just having Nate just there and seeing Trey on the sideline, like Trey's looking, you know how LeBron be on the sideline, jumping around, walking back and forth, talking. That's what Trey's doing now. Trey looks like he's more relaxed as the leader. He doesn't seem as stressed out as he was on the LP. Like, no shots towards LP, but he just looks relaxed on the sideline. Like when somebody dunks or when Nathan Knight hit that big dunk, you saw Trey on the sideline jumping around.
Exactly.
You saw JC jumping. Like it's a family atmosphere now. Like it's not everybody's. And when we get to the bench, all you see is everybody shaking, high five, and laughing and smiling. It's not like we like, oh my God, we're so stressed out. And we're calm. It seems like we're more cool, and we're cool, calm, and collected. The 3 C's. That's all it looks like. And when that 3rd quarter happened, everybody was like, okay, this is getting tough. Yeah. And then we came out in the 4th, and we started maturing. Like JC said after the game, we started putting more pressure on him. And when JC got back in that game, he showed you that I'm John Collins and I can help this team win. I am the number 2. And you saw it. And I was like, yeah, he is the number 2. Like, he might not score 30 points tonight if Trey scored 30, if Trey don't score 30, but he's going to show you his impact on the court at that moment.
You're right about that. Gatorade dude, Trey hit Snell in the corner and he missed it, but I have no idea how he hit him. I think you're talking about that. I think it was like the 2nd quarter.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's the 4. It was the run in the 4. It was a pick and roll, and Snell, I don't even know how he found him. Snell was just sitting in the corner. Trey's on the whole opposite court driving and just slings it. And it's perfect. It's a perfect chest pass. I said, and even Bob said it. Bob said, I don't even know how he found him doing that. Like, Trey was just his vision was on a different level tonight. Like, if Snell would have hit that, it would have been a highlight. But it was like Trey was driving. He was driving with his left, actually, and then he went to his right and just slung it. And JC thought it was to him, and it went right past JC head and found Tony in the corner. It was wild.
Yeah, I must have missed that play, but there was one in the 2nd quarter where he hit somebody in the corner and they missed it. But it was one of those passes like, okay, I thought he was going to the post to hit somebody rolling, and then he swung to the right. I'm like, oh, okay, but he missed it. It's okay though. Trey's vision has always been good, though. His vision has been good, but sometimes his vision does get him in trouble. That's when he has a lot of turnover games where he has like 4 or 5 turnovers because he's trying to make that hard pass. So sometimes his vision can't get him in trouble, but his vision is great. He is one of the top point guards in the league when it comes to just his vision. We'll definitely agree that we would have given up the lead if lost with LP. Thank you, Nick. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Me and Burner are not the only one that believes that the Hawks played too relaxed. Yeah, in the third quarter, I would agree with you, Ultra Shadow. In the third quarter, they came out relaxed, like, all right, yeah, we about to blow them out. They ain't got no fight in them. But then Victor Oladipo showed up and he ended the game with 34. So maybe in the first quarter, I don't know what was going on, but if he would have played like he did in the second half as he did in the first quarter, this game would have been one of those tight games. We probably would have went down to the wire.
VO, I will shut free VO, free Victor Oladipo, because he got to get out of Houston. I understand they want him there for John Wall and Christian. Get him out, because that team's that they're going through a rebuild, and I don't think VO needs to be a part of it. I think he needs to go somewhere where his talent is needed now.
Exactly. Tonight's game was a perfect example why you should never underestimate any team in any sport. Exactly. You're right about that. But some teams, you go into it, and when you up 20 plus at halftime, it's like,
I thought, we went up about 20. I'm like, I say this game over with. And one of our guys from the UK said, I think I can go to sleep now. We was like, go to bed, because we thought it was just gonna go up by. I said this game. I said we should win by 50. We really should have. I think VO and a lot of the role play guys that they have are really good. They're young. They're gonna have to learn how to win, but that's gonna be a good team coming down the line pretty soon. Tonight just wasn't their night. I will give Houston a shout out. They played us tight. They literally are a 3-point shooting team. They looked like they was in a D'Antoni because they just kept shooting threes. There was no stop. Let's get to the paint. Now, Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be a star one day.
Oh yeah,
Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be an absolute star. Cleveland gave up on him too early because he scored. He went crazy tonight. And every time I saw him score, I was like, he's a star.
You know who I want to give a shout out to on the Rockets? Kenyon Martin Jr. He balled. He might not have balled on the stat sheet, but he didn't give up. He was out there. He was doing his thing, and he was showing his presence. So I'm gonna give a shout out to him from the Houston Rockets. Atlanta Nation, if we can at least hold on to the AC, we can drive some teams crazy in the playoffs. I agree. This team, the AFC, I would agree with you there. I think anybody under the Heat, Milwaukee, the Nets, and the 76ers, I think we can beat them in a 7-game series. I'm going to let y'all know that right now. Out of those
that 5-6, what is it? Is it 5-6 or 5-7?
What you mean?
Then when you do playoffs, is it 5-6 or 5-7? Because if we're in that,
it'd be 5-6.
1-8, 5. That 5-7. That's gonna be if we're in that 7 slot. That 5 seed, we can take. We'll take that team to a 7-game. We really might win that. If we stay in that 5 to 8 range, we can take. I'm not gonna say we can take the Sixers or like the top 4 teams in the East, but anybody below that top 4 that we know are set, we'll take them. We might be able to win a series. Exactly. And I can see us. And the Knicks are not that good of a team. The Knicks are not good. They're good offense. They're good. Let's say they're good defensively. Their offense is there for them every night. And we saw that versus the Nets last night. Their offense, if it's not going, it's not going. And we can actually take we can take the Knicks. And I will stand on that. We can take the Knicks in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I think honestly we can take any team outside of Philly, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, or the Heat. We can beat in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Any team outside of that, we can beat in a 7-game series. Only team
we can beat Boston. We can definitely beat Boston.
I would be willing to beat Boston. Yeah, I can see us beating them, but if Boston gets hot, it'll be tough. It'll be tough. When is Hunter coming back? Thursday. Jalen Prince, thank you for joining the show. Hunter will be back Thursday. He'll be back, but don't expect nothing big from him. If you're looking for something big, I don't know. He might come out there. He might do his thing. But I wouldn't expect nothing big from him. Thank you for joining the show, Jalen. Keep the questions coming, brother. B. Baller, the question about JC, is he a max player? I say no. I love him, though. I'm going to let you go first because I got my opinion. I'm going to let you go first.
I don't see him as a max player. I can understand if we give him the max. And I'm fine with we give him the max, but I don't think he's a max player. I understand that I can understand how he might have found that $490 million kind of sort of disrespectful. He's in the 4 to 100 or 4 to 1. I think I said 115. Me and Sam has said 115. I understand. I'm in that range with him. If somebody gives him 130, we'll probably match it. But from that 4 to 125 is my range for JC. I'm not gonna go to the full max with him unless he just goes crazy the second half of the season and he's scoring 13, like he's doing 20 and 10 every night. Then I might consider the max. But 4 to 100, 4 to 125, that's my range for him. He might get 130 from another team and we'll match it, but that's the range I think we should keep him in.
Yeah, I agree. Just based off the question, is he a max player? No. I wouldn't pay him the max. No disrespect. He's been balling, but I just don't think he's a max player. Like T said, 4 for 130. Yeah, I can see it. But max player, no. He's not a max player on this team. He could be a max player on somebody else's team, but on this team, I don't think he's a max player. But if they pay him the max, cool. Like he said, cool, keep him. So we kind of on the same boat when it comes to JC. If he does 20 and 10, like he said, or if he just balls out this second half, or this is another scenario I can see them giving him the max. If we make the playoffs and he dominate even if he doesn't like have a good regular season, but we go to the playoffs and he dominates in the playoffs, then he'll be a max player. So it just all depends on how he ends this season. Will determine on if they're going to give him the max. The Knicks about to lose. Yes, I just seen that. They just lost to Philly. We're going to talk about that.
That's what we need.
Exactly.
We need that.
A little later. We'll get through these comments. Knicks just lost to 76. The Hawks are now 7th in the East. Thank you, Ultra Shadow. Thank you. That is my fire LP motion. I don't want you fired, Ultra Shadow. I love you here. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Slaughter's back. What up, Slaughter? Big Doug.
What's up, Slaughter?
Wallace. What up?
What's up, Wallace?
I think we can get to the 5th seed with the season end. Yes. If we get the 4th 5 seed, I'm going to be hyped because that was my prediction at the beginning of the season. Before all this went down, it was my prediction. So if we get the 4 or 5, I'm hyped. So then I can be like, I told y'all so. What has us scared of Milwaukee or 76ers? What have they done in the playoffs? All right. I'm going to give you this I'm going to speak on this. Milwaukee and the 76ers. They play really good defense. So it's really just one player. We don't have nobody that can stop Giannis or Joel Embiid. So if we don't have nobody to stop those players, we have seen what the Hawks what happened to the Hawks when they have that when one dominant player can take over the team. So that's my only scare is Joel Embiid, who is a MVP candidate, and then you got Milwaukee, and you got Giannis, who's a 2-time MVP. We have nobody on the team that can stop those two players. So that's my only really concern. It's not really the whole team in general. It's just those two players. What's your take on that, T?
Like you said, Milwaukee, nobody on our team can stop unless we put Hunter on Giannis and then have Cam play Ben on. Well, that's not Giannis. I mean on the Sixers. Embiid we're going to have Capella. We're going to have Capella put on Embiid, and I don't know if I like that matchup as much. It'll be more of a kind of sort of like a double and recover, and they don't have a lot of 3-point shooters on the Sixers, so I'm not really. Unless Tobias goes off, which that'd be the only person I would allow to go off.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see Ben Simmons going off if we have Hunter on him, or you put Cam on Simmons. I don't know which one. How we, because they say Cam is taller. So either way, we switch that up. Milwaukee, I don't know who you put on Giannis. I'm not scared of Milwaukee. I'm more scared of Giannis than I am of Milwaukee.
Exactly.
Because I can see Giannis going for like 50 a night on us. Because I don't see who's stopping him. Because he's going to get to where he wants to get, unless Capella is just sitting in the paint all night, which that's a 3-second violation. So unless you going to have – I don't even think JC's not going to stop Giannis. And you don't want to put Capella at the 3-point line trying to be a perimeter guard. So I don't – unless we get Okongwu to a point where we trust him, I don't know. I think the 76ers would be a favorable matchup, I think. But Milwaukee, I don't know. I just don't know who's on that team. Unless Chris Middleton. I would see their role players. If we do stop their main stars, their role players, I feel like will have a good game. So I don't know. I think I understand if we go versus them and we go 6 games, 5 or 6 games in my eyes, that's a good series for us. Because I mean we put in effort. We didn't get swept. So I'm fine with that. I mean, if it comes down to, if it comes down to either one team, I'd rather have the 6. Really, in my eyes, I'd rather have the 6.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd rather take Milwaukee and take my chances just for the simple fact of Joel Embiid is balling this year. And since the fact that Joel Embiid is balling this year and he can stretch the floor, which means we're probably, if Capella's probably going to be guarding him. If Capella is not not getting rebounds, it's going to be a tough, long game. It's going to be one of those games that is going to be tough and long. And I don't like those games. Those games are stressful. Those games are really stressful. And I do think the playoffs are not going to be as good as the regular season. And we're going to go through some stressful games in this playoffs. I hope y'all prepare yourselves. Like whatever you did with LP, once again, no shots taken towards LP, but whatever you was doing when LP was coaching, when games were tight, get that regimen back in place, because in the playoffs it's gonna be tough, brother. It's gonna be real tough. We need Collins to step up defensively, play, and it will work against the Bucks or 76ers. Exactly. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And you know what else we need to happen for us to beat these top teams? We need the bench to play well. We need players like Cam Reddish to play well. Who else on the bench?
We need Herter to be consistent.
Well. Solomon Hill to play well if he's there. Rondo. This is where we're gonna need Rondo the most to be a leader.
Yeah.
Especially for that second unit.
I need Rondo. If we make the playoffs, I need Rondo to be that leader that he's always been in the playoffs. Exactly. I need him to be that guy to calm us down. I need Rondo to be the leader. I need Rondo to almost take over the team as a whole in the playoffs, because he has the most experience out of everybody on that team. I need Solomon Hill. I need Gallo. I need all these vets that we have that have been to the playoffs to talk to these young guys, because that's what we need at this point, especially if we're going to be in the playoffs and we want to win. You need these vets to tell these kids how to win. We haven't been in the playoffs since 2017. Trey came in 2018. Well, John came in 2017, 2018. This whole team, none of these players have been touched the playoffs. Nobody's even sniffed the playoffs. And we got these vets on here. They're gonna tell you how they're gonna play. Like Rondo is as a 2-time champion. He might not have been a big part, but he really was. He's a big part for both of them. He's a champion. He's gonna have to tell you how to move and how players play extra hard. And I need Nate. I know people say Nate is a regular season coach. Nate's gonna have to. If Nate shows me he can win a series, or he can show me that he can put in forth effort, and he can get us to a point where we can look good, I need Trey to play consistent in the playoffs. I don't need him to be stressed out because it's his first time. I need Trey to come in like it's a regular season game every night. That's what I need. I need JC to not be stressed out. Capella's been to the playoffs, so he's one of the guys you can come talk to too. But I just want these vets that we have to sit these guys down if we make a playoffs and tell them, dog, just calm down. It's basketball. Because I feel like these young guys want to do too much. And we're not saying Trey and JC in general, but as a team, you see younger teams in the playoffs, they end up doing too much, or they do too little. They're not prepared. And you can tell. And I just want us to be prepared for what's going to happen.
Yeah, pretty much. Bit facts on that. I agree with you there. I don't want the Bucks or Nets. I feel fine with any other team. I feel Capella by playoffs will be healthy enough to potentially slow Embiid down. That's a big ask, brother. That's a real big ask, only because Clint Capella is a paint defender, and Joel Embiid is a kind of stretch the floor big, can do it all kind of big. So that would be a big ask for Clint. If he gets demolished, I wouldn't be shocked. I would be more shocked if he slowed him down and strapped him up. Honestly, I would be way more shocked if Clint Capella strapped up Joel Embiid in a playoff series.
like I said, if I want the Sixers, I'll let Embiid go off. If Embiid goes off, I want Ben Simmons to have 2 points. I want Tobias to have 12. I want them to have the lowest amount of points they can have, and let Embiid score 50. If Embiid's gonna score 50, let them score 20 of the points. Let them score 30 of the points because they're not really effective. They're gonna keep going to Embiid all night. So if we can show that we can shut down the role players or the rest of the starting 5 and just have Embiid go up, that's fine. I mean, then Miami. I don't know how. I forgot how Miami went, but I think they were trying to do that with Giannis, where not a lot of people were scoring, and Giannis scored. You can let their main star score, but don't let nobody else score. And if you that's when something happens. When you let the whole team score, that's when it gets ugly. So I'd rather us just have it just happen where if we get the Sixers, let's make everybody else work. And if Embiid goes off, Embiid goes off.
I agree with you there. So let's jump into this box score for the game. Tony Snell, 15 points. Shout out to Tony Snell, who's been doing his thing lately. John Collins, we talked about it earlier, 20 and 10. Gallinari, 29. Mind you, he got 20 of those points in the first half. So he kind of cooled off in the second half. I don't really know why, but he kind of just cooled off. Kevin Huerter with 16. Trae Young, 13 and 14 assists. He didn't really have to do much. He was 1 for 5 from the 3, so the 3 wasn't falling from the night and 3 at night. But at this point, we won the game, and he really didn't. We didn't need. I wouldn't say we didn't need him, but y'all know what I'm saying. We didn't need him to score a lot of points because we had other people like Gallinari dropping 29, John Collins dropping 20, Kevin Huerter with 16, Nathan Knight with 15. So when you got other people scoring like this, it's one of those games where I can have an off game and we still win. My problem was when he was having off games and everybody else was having off games, and now we losing the game.
Now we lose about like 30, and it's just like who's scoring? Who gonna score?
Who's gonna score the ball? So we beat the Houston Rockets, another team that we should have beat, and I'm happy that we can beat the teams that we should have beat. And like you said earlier, I am getting more confident the more we win about this West Coast stretch.
Yeah.
This 8-game West Coast stretch, like I said on Tuesday, 500, I'm happy with. But right now I'm looking at 5-3. It's looking real 5-3, 6-2-ish. If we go through this stretch, I'm going to let y'all know this right now. If we go through this stretch and we go 7-1 through this stretch, y'all not going to be able to tell me nothing. I'm gonna be on cloud.
Oh, I'm going crazy. This show is going to be just nothing but just craziness. Like,
yes,
if we go through this stretch, and it's a lot of teams on here we should be. It's really and truly. This should be an above 500 stretch. This stretch should like you said, 5-3, something close to that. Even if we go 7-1, I'm going to be the happiest man on earth. But I don't see a lot of. It's a lot of inconsistencies in a lot of these teams out here on this stretch. The toughest game we're probably gonna have. Well, the Lakers don't have AD, so I'm not really. That game's gonna be a little bit. I mean, LeBron is LeBron, so we're in LA. The Clippers inconsistent. The Kings, we just watched them the other game. So Warriors, that's gonna be a good game. I like this. I want to see the Trae versus Seth thing going on. The Nuggets, I think, was that the team we lost? I can't remember the team Nate lost. So I might have been the Nuggets, but I'm okay with it. We should beat the Nuggets. I feel like the Nuggets is a beatable team. The Suns are definitely beatable. The Spurs are, when we got washed, it's a different team now. So I feel like that's going to be a closer game. And the Pelicans, that's probably going to be one of the toughest games because they're younger and they're really good. They look really good now. And that's probably, I don't see a lot of. We get and then we going, yeah. I mean, that's probably, it's funny because it flips right after the trip. I don't really see a lot of the hardest games are going to be the Lakers and the Clippers, in my eyes, and maybe the Suns.
I would agree with you there. I would agree with you.
So I don't really see a lot of the Warriors. Might be tough, but they don't really have okay, we beat the Nuggets. So yeah, I don't really see a lot of 6-2. That's my bold prediction.
Yeah.
That's my bold prediction.
I don't want to call it. I'm gonna stick with 500 or 5-3 right now. But if we keep winning some games, I'm going to start calling for the 6-2, and I'm not going to expect nothing left. Lakers very beatable without AD. Clippers inconsistent. Kings bench is deeper than Warriors. Denver is close. Suns is rough. Spurs can be rough. Pelicans beatable. I can't argue with nothing. Nothing you said there. It is, but we also have to realize this is the West Coast. These games for us on the East Coast going to start at 10. So you don't know how players' bodies going to react to the West Coast and the time change. That is a factor. So don't think we just going to go in here just because teams are inconsistent. They used to playing at home. They're going to be at home. So we got to
playing the Pelicans at 9 o'clock. I guess that's 8 o'clock their time, so that's not late. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think Google got this wrong because it says we're playing the Lakers at 3:30 on Saturday. That's like a 12 o'clock game there.
No,
that's a 12 o'clock game. Wouldn't it be? Okay, so it's an after. That's not a bad game. That's not really. It's gonna be different for us, but that's like 12 o'clock here. So I mean, that's like a MLK Day game like we usually play. So I see a very good chance of us beating them. It's just these late games and us having to adjust to the schedule. That's really all I think the problem is. Either the jet lag, because we're going to be traveling. Mm-hmm. Mind you, some of these games are the biggest break is the Kings, and that's because it's the 22nd, and that's a travel day. The 23rd is a travel day. 25th is a travel day. 27th. Yeah, I mean, these games are like, I don't know if y'all know, we're not practicing. We're not putting up shots before the game. These are travel games. I mean, we're in LA for 2 games, so we get a good day off, and then we're back in the stadium. So we might practice then, but these aren't just games where we're going everywhere. Like this whole West Coast trip is going from Central to back to Pacific, back to Central. Like it's going to be a tough stretch. I mean, there's a lot more Pacific games, but the Spurs and the Pelican games are Central Time. So we're going from Phoenix literally a day later playing with the Spurs. So it's going to be a tough stretch, y'all. Get ready. Like we said, 5-3 or 6-2. 6-2 is my bold.
Yeah.
5-3 or 4-4. Just get ready because it's going to be some nights where we're just going to look off. Yeah. And I will tell y'all, it's going to be some nights where we're going to be sitting there. Everybody going to be on the bench with their arms like this tired. Or we just going to look stressed out because that's a lot of travel in that. It's not like back before COVID where we would go travel, have 2 or 3 days and play the game. It's not that no more. It's like a night after night after night after, and it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna be proud if we go 4-4. I'll be proud if we're at 500. I'll be proud at 5-3 because that shows we had some toughness. So I really will. I'm ready for it. I want everybody to be ready for it. Just get ready and then we're gonna be up late, y'all. Y'all, these are late games.
They start at 10 o'clock. So I hope y'all
all at 10 o'clock, y'all. Like we're going to be up. Like Postgame is gonna be like midnight, y'all.
Yeah.
Mind you, like
midnight, mid-30 too.
midnight, yeah. Like it's gonna be a tough stretch for everybody. Like just get ready, get used to it, get used to your sleep schedule gonna be off a little bit. If you watch every game, just make sure everything's right before we get to this stretch. We got OKC. We're not gonna look over OKC on Thursday. We're not gonna overlook OKC. That's the next game. They're hurt. They're probably gonna play Shea. They might not have Dort. They're not gonna have Al Horford. So yeah, I mean, let's not overlook them, but let's just get ready for this trip.
Yeah, pretty much. Glad you agree with us, Wallace. 5-3 at the best, 6-2. Anything else is extra. 5-3 the worst, 6-2 is best, anything is extra. Slaw, the Spurs did destroy us earlier this season, though. Yeah. Like you said, that game, I was so mad. I was so mad.
I think that's the one you started early. You started real early because I was like, golly.
Yeah, I was done. It was like beginning of fourth, early third, I was over that game because they started benching all the players. I was just like, yeah. And that's when my fire LP meter just went through the roof. Like, we can't
And
be
like he didn't care. Like he was just sitting there like,
yeah, all right. Yeah, just love it. Antonio Holloway. Thanks for joining the show, brother. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. We do this after every Hawks game. We're gonna be talking Hawks basketball along with other teams' basketballs. Like the let's talk about other games that went on today. The Bulls slapped OKC and Zach LaVine dropped 40.
Yeah.
15 of 20 shooting, y'all. 15
He's special.
Of 20.
Zach LaVine is special, y'all. Like
Yo.
y'all, he's special. I'm looking at you. He is special. That is a special type of scorer. Minnesota gave up on him. When he busted his knee, Chicago got a blessing in that man, and it's not even close. He is a special player. He is going to be probably. I'm just bold. I'm gonna throw another hot take out. He will, if he stays in Chicago, he will be one of their highest scorers in history. If he stays in Chicago for the rest of his career, he will be up there with Jordan. He will either be behind Pippen or he will be behind Jordan in scoring.
Bro, that game was over. Yeah, it probably was over in the second quarter. I started that show super early. Super early. I was pissed.
Because you know how I know he started it early? Because King texted me and said, bro, are you ready to go? And I was like, huh? I'm still watching the game. I'm like, the game's still on. He's like, bro, I'm done. He's like, I'm done. I was like, oh my God. I came on here and he was already on here talking. I was like, I'm not even going to join. I'm just going to let him go.
The Knicks did lose today to the 76ers. And guess what? Tobias Harris dropped 30. Tobias Harris dropped 30, and Seth Curry had 20. Ben Simmons had 16. Yeah. Right there.
Well, this is all without Embiid.
Exactly.
Like, y'all don't understand. Embiid is an MVP caliber player. And look at Tobias Harris. I will love Larry forever because Larry told us, look, watch Tobias Harris, and he has not disappointed me yet. Every game, Tobias Harris just was like, you know what? Every time he gets the spotlight, he's gonna show out.
Exactly.
And that's what I like about John. Every time he gets that time where he's gonna be that guy, he is that guy. He a baller. Like, for people to not know who Tobias Harris is, like, for a while, especially me, I'm not really like a basketball guy. He blew up like last year. No, everybody, it was the Clippers. The Clippers year, he started like going like 20 a game. Everybody was like, okay, look at Tobias Harris. He should be an NBA All-Star. Didn't make it. And I was just like, okay, he ain't that good then. Then I saw him get snubbed. This year he got snubbed because he's averaging, I think, close to 23, 24. And it's not bad. Like, it's on good efficiency, which is crazy to me. Yeah, he's like, that's crazy. He's averaging, he's on 51, no, let me see. Yeah. He's 51.7% field goal percentage.
So he's balling. He's out here.
Yeah, he's making half of his shots. Like, that just makes no sense.
Yeah. And like we was talking about earlier, while the 76ers are a scary team, when you got Tobias Harris dropping 30, Seth Curry, not Steph, Seth dropping 20, and then you got Ben Simmons dropping 16. If Ben Simmons is dropping 16 points in a game and he can't shoot, we're going to be in trouble. Yeah, we're going to be in trouble playing that team because they got players around him that can shoot, and then he can score. That's not going to be good. So that's a team I would not want to see early. I would rather see them late. But I'm still going to put my faith in the Hawks always. Excuse me, y'all. The Heat beat the Cavs 113-98. And, of course, Jimmy Butler, homeless man of the NBA during the bubble, 28 points. 28 points for Jimmy B. Kelly O with 17. So it was a good team win. You had Bam with 14, Duncan Robinson with 14, and Kendrick Nunn with 10. So they had like a good game. And they got Tyler Hero, who I don't like Tyler Hero. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. I don't like Tyler Hero.
I don't like his game. I understand that he's a spot up shooter and he may be able to drive and people. And it's funny. I've seen some people in the Hawks say that Tyler Hero should have came to us and then they could have got Cam. No.
Tyler Hero.
It's certain people like when I see Tyler Hero, I'm just like, what do you do? Like him in high school. Now, high school was amazing. Like Tyler Hero in high school was like, oh, he that guy. When he was in Wisconsin and then, he got to Kentucky and he was shooting big shots. I just don't like that he's like cocky. I don't like his attitude. Like he thinks he's already that guy and he's just he just got in the league. That's what I don't like. Like when he did that growl at the camera, like, dude, you're
mug. I haven't liked him
like
mug. Haven't liked him since
no. And then you got bodied by LeBron the next game. You got thrown across the floor.
Exactly.
So you're not that tough guy. Like you're a spot up shooter, and you can maybe lay up sometimes, but you're mostly a shooter. You were brought to Miami to shoot. You're not a ball header. And I mean it's in your repertoire, but I don't see it. It hasn't come out yet.
It hasn't came out since the meme mug. That meme mug was horrible and ugly, and it kind of just ruined the game for me. I just didn't like him after that. Sorry. Hopefully no shade. I hope he can get better and he can do his thing. I want him to be a good player in the NBA. I throw no shade on no players in the NBA, but if I don't like your game, I just don't like your game. There's nothing I can really do about that. On to another team. Boston lost again, man. They lost to the Jazz, which is that's a tough team. But they lost to the Jazz, and Donovan Mitchell had 21, and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown Jason Tatum had 29 and Jaylen Brown had 28, and they still lost. So when you have things like that happening, it's like, what's going on with this team?
There's no help. There's no help. Like, imagine if Kyrie would have stayed, right? But let's just say Kyrie would have stayed, and we let Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum develop around Kyrie. Imagine what that team would be right now. They might be number one. They might be number one in the East right now if they still had Kyrie. And that's even really and truly, Terry Rozier has come off this year like he's just a baller. And if I understand you want Kim as the point guard, but imagine they would have kept Terry Rozier. And he would have developed to what he is now with scoring almost 30 a game. Or he's going off some nights. And you only need Terry Rozier certain nights with this team. If he would have stayed in the ball, you only need because you got Tatum scoring almost 30 and Brown almost scoring 30. If you just have Rozier scoring, who's the second? Kim had 16. You have Sammy Ojeleye playing 19 minutes and not scoring once.
Tragic.
Like
tragic.
You got Peyton Pritchard. What are you gonna call Peyton Pritchard? You got T 10 minutes. Peyton Pritchard 12 minutes. Marcus Smart played 25 minutes. Grant Williams played 17. Guess what they averaged as all of them together?
Tell them, T.
7 points.
7 points. 7 points. No help, brother. No help. Shout out
7 points. That's
horrible.
That's just sad. Like, and we were at a point like that with Solomon Hill and Gallo wasn't scoring. This team is so young. Like, I understand. And the funny part, what's his name? The Ford they drafted a couple years ago. I posted this thing because they said he's not real. Romeo Langford. There's this thing talking about he's not real because he's never played a game. Romeo Langford has played like one game and he's always hurt. I don't know. It's just kind of sort of crazy that this team was so highly projected and then Kemba's not really performing. Marcus Smart gets hurt. He's not really performing. And the rest of the team really ain't performing. So I don't know. It's kind of sort of just I understand injuries and understand the whole fact of, but you got to build. You got to build around those two. And if it's in free agency, if it's you going in the draft. At a certain point, they're gonna get tired. You got him on a contract. I think Jason Tatum's on a contract for the next like 3 or 4 years, and Jaylen Brown's the same way. But at the end of their contracts, they're free agents. If you don't give them help at a certain point in their career, they're gonna leave. I have a strong chance that if they don't make, they made a deep playoff run that first year, and I don't know, like last year, I think they go like second round. I don't know. It's just find them some help. You should have kept. You could have. They should have kept so many of those players they let go, and it just shows. It really. Gordon Hayward should have stayed. You should have paid Gordon Hayward, and it shows you should have paid. This year shows you Gordon Hayward in Charlotte shows you should have kept Gordon Hayward. I feel sad for that fan base because now they want the coach fired. They want to get rid of Danny Ainge. At a certain point, you gotta think Danny Ainge. You gotta talk to him. You gotta be. If I'm Jason Tatum, I'm going in the office and just talking to him like, "Hey, I got to get some help."
Pretty much. So other teams in the league, the Minnesota Timberwolves are losing currently at the end of the first to the Lakers 31-30. The Pelicans are beating the Trailblazers 61-49, and it's 34 seconds in the second quarter. So before we get to my favorite part of the show, for people that make it to this part of the show, bad takes. Who you think your MVP is since Embiid got hurt? Jokic, the Joker.
Yeah. Advanced stat wise, he is the MVP. Yeah. So you can't impact on game. It's Jokic at this point. Since Embiid got hurt, it's Jokic. And people are gonna argue LeBron. No. They don't really look. He has the same effort and energy, but it's not the same. Like Kuzma is balling. I will give Kuzma his credit. He is balling. Yeah. And LeBron, LeBron's gonna be LeBron, but it's most definitely Jokic.
I would agree. So this is my favorite part of the show. We've been doing this the last 3 shows. We're not gonna call them bad basketball takes because this is a football take. Bad sports takes, period.
Yes.
This one, DeAndre Burner knows about. This guy right here. Shout out to you, Y2J Hurd. You are now famous, brother. Shout out to you. As you see, I called him dumb. He said Evans, Julio won't be a top 5 as long as he's in Atlanta with Matt Ryan. So Burner himself says, so a top 10 quarterback, some might argue top 5 doesn't make Julio a top 5 wide receiver. Crazy. Who wants to argue Matt Ryan is top 10? He's only had one good year, the third best his own division this past season. Please don't say top 5. So there is some facts to what he said. He was the third best this year in his own division. Factual. I give you that. One good year? Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Just to knock that argument without even looking at the stats, the year he won MVP, the next year, he had the exact same stats. So if you're saying he only had one good year because he won MVP, then you should say he had 2 good years because of those simple facts. What do you have?
And I think Matt's funny to me. Matt, I mean, I'm not. Let's say not Matt's funny. Falcons fans are funny to me, and sports fans in general when they talk about Matt Ryan are funny to me. I'm a stat guy. I love stats. I go by stats. Matt is a efficient. He will be a first ballot Hall of Famer quarterback. Matt at the top of his career had the top clutch drives. He was number 1 in clutch drives. He was number 1 in 2 years, 3 or 4 years back to back. He was leading almost in passing. Matt is the money. Excuse me. He's one of the most efficient quarterbacks you will have. And it's funny because people are like, "Oh, we don't want Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan isn't good." Matt Ryan's averaging almost 2,000 yards a season. If you want your quarterback to do, he want him to run 4,000. Yeah, 4,000. He's averaged. I think what was his
He's had
season? Wasn't it 5,000 that year or something like that?
No, he was
It was
close.
something.
He was close. He was at 4,944. But
my God.
since 2011, he's had 4,000 yards each year. Since 2011, 4,000 yards each year. He's thrown for 25 plus touchdowns since 2011. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. He's had over a 60% completion ratio every year except for his sophomore year when he was at 58.3. Besides that, his lowest was 61.1. And you gonna tell me one good year? Come on, brother. Just say you
It's
don't
not.
like
It's the fact that people don't. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this very lightly. People do not like Matt Ryan because of the Michael Vick situation.
Yeah, we know that. We know that. You're absolutely right.
That's the only reason people don't like Matt Ryan. That is the only reason. I understand everybody loved Vic. I was a little kid, loved Vic. It's time. You got to move on. Matt Ryan has been the quarterback my whole life.
Exactly. Dang, really?
Yeah. Let's think. He got drafted. Matt Ryan when did he get drafted? 2010?
Oh wait.
Oh yeah. I was only 7.
Then yeah.
Yeah. So for me watching football, Matt Ryan has been my quarterback. So I've had Vic, and I don't remember the years in between Vic. Between Vic and Matt, I don't remember those years. But I've had Vic, and look at Matt. Like that's the only 2 quarterbacks I know that are my quarterback. Like Vic was drafted the year I was born. He was drafted in 01. So I really didn't get that much Vic, but then I've had Matt since I was 7. Exactly. If that's my quarter, I've had Julio since I was 8 or 9. Those are my 2 guys. Those are my franchise guys. I've always loved them. I got a Falcons. They signed all of it. These are signed. Those are my guys. I'm never gonna I'm never gonna say, oh, I want Matt gone. Matt has been my quarterback my whole life. It's like people that had in Dallas that had Star? I can't think of his name. Or they had Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was their quarterback for years. And when they got rid of Troy Aikman, yes, Roger Staubach. And then you had Troy Aikman, and then those gaps in between, you don't remember those quarterbacks. Then you get Tony Romo. Then the gaps in between Tony Romo. You went from Tony Romo to back right to Dak.
Yeah, right.
So there's not those gaps in between. You're just like, I need those. Those are my quarterbacks. Those are my guys. I don't remember the gap years. My quarterback has been Matt Ryan, and my wide receiver has been Julio Jones my whole life. I've never had a different quarterback and wide receiver duo. That's the only duo I want to see win a championship at this point. So for people to say, get rid of Matt, I understand if y'all don't like him because he's white, I don't know why y'all don't like Matt Ryan. He has been so good for us. Even we had bad years, Matt had a good year.
Exactly.
There's never been a year where Matt's been like, oh my God, Matt Ryan he might throw 16 picks, but he's got 30 touchdowns. I don't know.
Yeah. So shout out.
That's crazy.
Slaughter, in Wallace, Matt Ryan is top 5 quarterback. I wouldn't say top 5 this year. I'll give him top 10 though, easily top 10. Top 5 is a little of a kind of a stretch, depending on who you put in your top 5.
No, we're saying all time right now in the league right now, he's top 5.
Oh yeah, in the league right now, yes.
Yeah, in the league right now, he's top 5.
Yeah, I would give you that. We wouldn't have won games without Matt last year. Yeah, I would agree with you there. He did lose a game, so that Chargers game, he did lose that one for us. But everybody has a bad game. But other than that, yeah, we probably wouldn't have won a lot of games without Matt. Falcons fans are hilarious, laughing my ass off. We got to build Matt a statue, maybe. He do deserve a statue.
He'll get a statue, especially in front of that new stadium. If Drew Brees get a statue, Matt Ryan's getting a statue. I don't care.
We know why that guy's getting a statue. We ain't gonna talk about it.
We're not gonna talk about it.
And the fans don't realize that Matt has been under 5 different OCs, and this will be his 6th OC, and he's still the top 5 at the end of the regular season. Big facts on that, Wallace. That's something that a lot of fans overlook. because they don't understand how important coaching is. So they overlooked that. My man's haven't had a top 15 defense since he got here. Exactly.
What year was the year we went to the Super Bowl? Was the highest defense he's ever had? And you see what we? No, it wasn't.
No,
I'm surprised because Vic had like 6. Then Vic we used to have like 16 sacks that year or something like that. I feel like
that year for total defense was horrible.
It's crazy. I don't even know when was our top defense.
It was one year we had I think it was like 9th, and I think it was Dan Quinn's second year, but it was one year we had a top 10 defense. 1 year.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember the exact. I had to go look at it again, but it was that year. These fans are still not over Vic. Absolutely right. Probably not even top 20. Yeah. Jonathan, what's up, brother? Bro,
what's up, Jonathan?
I couldn't see most because of weather rough here. Just check y'all still in, and first thing I hear is Matt Ryan. See, bad takes, brother. It's bad takes of the for the week, I guess, or just bad takes of pretty much everything, because we've been talking pretty much everything. That year with Vic Beasley was a myth. Slaughter, thank you. Myth. I can't stand Vic Beasley.
Nobody really. 2017. Okay.
2017. Okay. All right. So DeAndre's bad take. What he got? He may be the best number 2 in. Oh.
I saw this, and I don't even know. I don't know who Sam Mitchell is. Is he a basketball player? I think he's a basketball player. He was.
Did Paul George fall off a cliff, or Kawhi Leonard? I don't care who you put there.
I don't know who you put it. I don't care who you put the 2 guard. If you say, did DeMar DeRozan fall off a cliff? Did Jaylen Brown fall off a cliff? Even Jaylen Brown's young. Did he fall off a cliff? You don't.
That's crazy. What people?
You don't just say. See, I can understand if you say impact on a team. Not even then, really. Because I mean, Dame really has carried that team to the playoffs. He's got them at a 5. Is it 4 or 5 seed? And he did that by himself. So it's not really impact. CJ's there to be there. We all love CJ. He's not number 2. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Look at the Brooklyn Nets. Pick whoever you want to be number 1, and then look at the number 2 player. KD would be number 1.
Kyrie said James Harden is the one. So I mean, they switch off and on. So it don't really matter. Either one you want to put at the 2 at that night. Come on. Like, I can understand if he was saying maybe like, well, yeah, he's number 2 when it comes to teams and they need that guy to score. He's number 2. But even then, look at the Nets. If you need somebody to score, you got James Harden or Kyrie at the 2. It's just like, I don't know. We trying to sort of just, people have these just faith in a player. I don't know if it's even faith. It's just talking. And I don't know what he was talking about. I don't know what he was talking about, but he may be top 10. I'll give CJ top 10, but he's not.
He's not
number 2.
He's not number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5. I can tell you that.
No.
He's not none of them. That is crazy. It looks like the comment section agrees with us. Slaughter agrees with us. Jonathan agrees with us. Wallace, our defense was 17th, actually.
God.
That's horrible.
We just never had a good defense, bro.
So before we get out of here, any plugs? Any plugs, brother?
Not really. Hey, follow us. Follow and subscribe, man. Subscribe. I like that y'all was in here early tonight. Hey, we got viewers in here before we start. Hey, come on. Subscribe. Just keep us spread it. Like he said, tell a friend to tell a friend. We are the Atlanta Hawks post-game show. There's not many of us out there. We are the main one. I've never seen any other one. I want to shout out one person though. I want to shout out Cookie, Devontae. Cookie, most of y'all know Cookie by nature. He is the reason I am on this show because he was the one that told me to contact King. So I will always be thankful to Cookie for putting me in this position. I want to shout out everybody in the Hawks group chat that comes and watch. Thank y'all. Y'all guys have really pushed it. Share it on y'all Twitters because y'all know how we run as a group chat. Some people may see it, some people may not. Share it because we got people that want to watch, that need to hear this, and they're not hearing it because there are people that want to talk and they don't have nobody to talk to. We here to talk to y'all. We here to be the guys. We're the guys for y'all. If y'all ever need to talk, y'all know me. I'm in the group chat every day. I post on Twitter almost every hour, and it's always some other Hawks related. It's gonna be some other media or anything really. I'm not gonna talk about his J. Cole beef he got with some other guy, but we just that was the funniest interaction. Yeah. But hey, I will say we're working. We working, y'all. I will have, and hopefully I will start my show pretty soon. Getting ready. I gotta talk to Dawn. Shout out Dawn soon. That's the guy. All of y'all, everybody in FILA, everybody in Georgia's Sports Hospitality Media Group, everybody, man, all of us. Let's just share this. Let us get big. Help us out. Just help us out.
Big facts on that. As he just said, you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is basketball, football, and whatever else is on my mind that day. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't tolerate J. Cole slander. You will not J. Cole slander on my watch. I will go off, and it will. I don't tolerate Matt Ryan slander, but J. Cole is above Matt Ryan because I am from NC. So it's one of those things.
I will not tolerate Drake slander, y'all. I will not tolerate Drake or Future slander. If I see Drake or Future slander on my timeline from any of y'all gonna get hit. Drake is now number 1, number 2, and number 3 on the top 100. That's all I gotta say.
Shaking my head, but for Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. Shout out to everybody in the group chat. Thank y'all for coming. We gonna do this every post game. We do this. We do it big. We talk to y'all. We just try to grow here. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure they go tell a friend to come join us for the post game. As y'all know, we talk Hawks and all basketball and football. So we gonna be here. Wallace with the correction. 2018 was the defense was top 10. Thank you to Wallace, who's a loyal listener.
Thank you, Wallace.
Ultra Shadow, loyal listener. Slaughter, Jonathan. Shout out to y'all. Nick, shout out to you. Junior, shout out to you. Give a shout out to everybody in the comment. Antonio, shout out to you. Gatorade, shout out to you. B Baller, shout out to you. Thank y'all for joining. Atlanta Nation, you was here early. Shout out to you. Make sure Soldier Gutter, shout out to you too. Make sure y'all go tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Make sure they go tell a friend to come.
I got one more.
Sports Live in Atlanta's in the building. 6 straight.
Oh, Sports Live, my boy. He late, man. What's going on?
Glad you here, brother. We glad you here. We glad you here. 6 straight. Give your last shout out before we get up out of here, brother.
Gatorade, do you some Gator dude? You know who I'm talking about. I don't want to see nothing about Florida. I don't need Florida on my timeline. And you know what I'm talking about. I don't need nothing Florida. Only person I want from Florida, if we draft them, is I don't even want Kyle Pitts. I want Trask in like the 6th round. Give me Trask as the backup. I want backup. Let him develop. Hey, Trask, you don't sleep on him. And don't sleep. That's the one person that is my sleeper pick of the. Hey, I don't watch Trask beat Georgia by disgustingly. Hey, I don't watch his film. I don't watch Trask film enough, and I done seen him do some spectacular stuff. But Gator, I don't want to see no Florida stuff. I don't. You just hey, thank you, Wallace. Thank you,
Wallace. Another good show. Almost screwed that up. That would have sucked. Nah, you good. You good. I will go back and watch. Just got a knack in. My God, no trash. Yes, Wallace. No trash. I like it. No trash. But we'll catch y'all Thursday on the show. Morris will be back. If y'all missed Morris the first time.
Oh, yes. You gotta be. Please be here for Morris. Y'all gotta be here for him.
Morris is a fool, brother. He is a funny guy. You got to join the show. If you missed Morris the first time, it's his second time back. He's confirmed he will be here, and we might have another guest, special guest coming in. So road to 10 straight. Yes, road to 10 straight. I'm for it.
Sports Live in Atlanta. We getting so close. You came in here that night, and we all looked like this when we said, I don't think so, and you was right. You might be right.
You might be right.
And we got a good stretch of these next 4 games. We might be there. And I will say, I will give you your credit if we win all 10. I will give you your credit.
I will too. And on that note, you already know what to do. We out. Peace.